If you're a patient at Apex Wellness Providers, this video has been made for you to help assist in your technique for your health and wellness journey. If you're not a patient, please use this for educational and entertainment purposes and is never a substitute for your own individual medical advice.
Well, welcome everybody to our next Apex Action event. I'm so glad that you're here, and we're trying to make this like a monthly thing. It's always free, and today we did mountain biking, and now we're going to do what I call yoga-ish. It's very low-key. We want everyone to feel included. Like, you do not have to have any special set of skills. You do not have to feel like you need to be super flexible or athletic. The whole premise of our company is that we want to help people maintain, and enjoy wellness, whatever that means for them. And so we want to try to be really inclusive. This Apex Action, we either do something physically active or socially active as a community service project. So today we even have like a 9-month-old participant. He's probably better at this than all of us, actually. He's more flexible than the rest of us. Apparently he's cranky today, but he doesn't seem so cranky. So there's no special time frame. I usually go somewhere in the neighborhood of about 45 minutes. And if a couple of important things, listen to your body. If you're doing something and it's painful, either raise your hand, ask for a modification, or do what feels right for your body. I'm going to ask you to think about one thing in particular today. I want to focus on something I call symmetry of movement. And so throughout the whole 45 minutes or so, I want you to recognize if you have more restriction in one part of your body than the other, because we're going to do symmetrical movements. If we do the left side, we're going to do the right side. And so if you notice, for example, your external rotation on your right hip is more limited than your left, feel free to take a few extra moments to focus on the restricted side. And let me be clear about what I mean by that. I don't want you to force anything. I want you to sort of just spend a little extra time and nudge. You're nudging it. So if this is the barrier that you feel, you just want to nudge it. We're not looking for pain. Discomfort is okay. So just to be clear, if it's building, burning, aching, too bad. That's why you're exercising. If it's sharp, stabbing, or sudden, probably find another way to do it. So that's a good rule of thumb in general. I encourage you all to do difficult things. I like difficult. I don't like things that are going to injure you. Because if you get injured, then you don't participate anymore, and I want you to participate. And at any point, if you feel like this becomes too much, you can always go to a rest position, which could be something as simple as like a shavasana, which is corpse pose, kind of. I don't know how appropriate that term is, but you just lie down, take a moment. You can go to child's pose, which is something like this. You can go to resting in a position like this if you have enough flexibility to do it, or anything else that feels comfortable for you. So what I want to start with today is we're going to mix in sort of some traditional yoga poses, but with some stretching. And you think that's a good idea? Lane thinks it's a good idea. So what I want to start with is I just want to start with some movements to create some mobility and a little bit of warmth, even though it's going to be like freaking 99 degrees today in Georgia in August. It's not so bad right now. So let's get a little bit warm. I am dirty and sweaty already because I've been mountain biking. If you notice, my shins are like completely filthy. Whatever, come as you are. So what I want you to do is I want you to start on your hands and knees. It's called tabletop position. Try and position your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. I prefer, I'm flashing people. My director was telling me I'm flashing people. I didn't like nip slip or anything, did I? No wardrobe malfunction, no Janet Jackson moment here. We don't know. We'll never know. So hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, feet flat, preferably. If it feels more comfortable to curl your toes, that's also fine. First thing I want you to do is I want you to take a deep breath in, and you're going to lift your head and chest up and let your belly button go down. And then exhale and tuck your belly button, look down toward your knees, arch your back up. Inhale, extend, exhale, and round. In the yoga world, they like to call this cat and camel, or cat and cow. You can call it whatever you want. Back and forth. Find your own breathing rhythm. And every once in a while, I'm going to call your attention back to your breath, to your breathing. I don't want to breathe too loud because I have a microphone on, and that's going to be really annoying for anyone listening. But keep a nice rhythmic breath with your movement and move at your own pace. One more time. Inhale and exhale. And now what I want you to do is I want you to rock your knees out toward the edge of your mat and your big toes toward one another. Sit back, extend your arms. This is a child's pose. Let your bum relax toward your feet. Extend your fingers forward, middle finger pointed out far away from you, and rest your head. Now come back up, so your hands should be a little further away than they were in tabletop. Turn your toes underneath and extend yourself up into what's called downward facing dog. Shift your heels toward the ground, bring your tailbone up toward the sky, and drop your head between your shoulders. Kind of rock back and forth, flex and extend your ankles. Feel that pull in the back of your legs. This can feel like a stretch. A lot of people have neural tension in this position. You may or may not know what that is. That's okay. And then settle into a comfortable position. And then inhale, come up to a plank position. I want you to roll the inside curves of your elbows forward. So if you can see my elbows, rotate them forward and focus on bringing your belly button up toward your spine. So lots of people do plank, but a lot of people don't do plank particularly well. So I want you to focus on the technique here. Be long and strong from the crown of your head down through your heels. Elbows are rotated forward. Belly button is pulled up and strong. If this is too much, drop your knees into a kneeling plank. If you can do it, hold it. Hold this for another 10-15 seconds. Few deep breaths in and out. In and out. Make sure that you feel like you could still breathe and talk. One more round, in and out. Exhale, and then bring your tailbone up to the sky. Shift back into that downward dog position. We're going to do this a couple times through, and I want you to notice if each time you go into the down dog, you feel like you have a little bit more flexibility. Come back into plank, shift forward. Strong shoulders, strong back. You're flat like a table all the way from the crown of your head to your heels. Inhale and exhale, hold this position. One more breath in and out. And then shift back into down dog again. See if you feel like your heels are just a tiny bit closer to the ground. If you feel like you can lengthen your tailbone toward the sky a little bit more. Now I want you to shift your weight onto your left leg, extend your right leg up into the air. Strong and powerful. And then come forward and tuck your knee and come into pigeon pose. Now, this is one of those positions that people either love or hate. My husband does not like this position. It's very, very difficult for him. So if we were to make a goal here, if we were all yogis and super limber, you're trying to get the bent hip down toward the mat as much as you can. The more you bring this foot forward, the more difficult that becomes. So if you feel like this is really, really tight and restricted, bring the foot back a bit, and you should feel a little bit more flexibility. If you feel like you want a more challenge, bring it a little bit out. So now what I want you to do is start to roll right and left. So onto the bent hip, toward the straight hip, back and forth. Do what feels right for your body here. And then if you feel so inclined, now this, depending on which direction you go, if I come up higher, I'm going to get more of a stretch in my right hip here. I'm going to get more stretch in the front of my left hip. If I come down onto my elbows, I'm going to get more of a stretch in my right hip. So it all depends on what you're looking for today. If this does not feel like much to you, you can continue down until your head is on the ground, but don't cause yourself any pain. You should feel this deep inside your right hip. Take one deep breath in and out. Now come back up onto your hands. This is a little bit more advanced, so don't do it if you don't feel like you're ready. Bend your left knee, and if you can, grab it with your left hand. Same hand, same leg for this pose. Over in in left field over here, we have a baby attacking mom. Now, I in no way am like a yoga superstar. As you can see, I'm not incredibly limber. This is not a competition. I'm not here to show off for you. I'm just here to help you nudge yourself in a certain direction. Extend that left leg. Tuck your left toes. Power through the arms, up on the toe. Take yourself back into downward facing dog again. Again, notice, do you feel a little teeny bit more limber? Take the left leg up to the sky. Strong and powerful, come up through into the front, 90-degree angle if you can, which clearly I cannot. Now for me, so I'm going to talk for a second about that symmetry of movement. This is my restricted side. I've had 2 knee surgeries on this side. My left hip does not move like my right hip. So I personally am going to spend a little extra time here. You do what feels best for you, and I'm rolling right and left. And for me personally, this side, okay, and I come this way, and it is tight. So I just encourage you to notice what you feel. And then play with your foot placement. If you feel like, I feel like I'm loosening up a little bit, maybe you bring your foot a little bit more forward. And then if you feel like you can, this is where I really start to feel this on my left side. Come down onto your elbows, and if you feel like you can, all the way down to your head. And try to relax your shoulders and deep breathe in and out. This is a very, very strong stretch for me. So for all of you, if you feel like this is no big deal on this side, I'm going to add an extra breath. We've got a mini terrorist over here. And then come up onto your hands, and then bend the right knee, grab it with the same arm if you can. There are many modifications for this. We can make this far more difficult, but let's stay here for today. We have a couple over here, and the husband is looking enviously at his wife's mobility. I'm sure you have your own set of strengths as well. Hold that for another deep breath in and out. Exhale, lower that foot, tuck your right toes, strong through the arms, up into a plank, and then down into downward facing dog. We're going to start with that right leg again, right leg up to the sky. And then this time you're going to bring it all the way forward and step it up between your hands. Try, if you can, to get that front knee to 90 degrees. So if your foot is forward or back, you can use your hand to place it where you need to. And then either fingertips, knuckles, or palms, depending on the flexibility of your arms. You're going to start by you're planting the left arm and rotating the right arm up toward the sky. If you can, turn your eyes toward the sky. Strong through that back leg, squeeze the quadricep. Now bring your right arm down to the inside of your right foot, and then take your left arm and rotate it up. Most people find this to be significantly more difficult, both in mobility and balance. It's okay if you're wobbling. Don't worry. Just do your best. Come down. We've had 2 falls. It's okay. Just go back. Both hands to the inside, and now drop the right hip open slightly. So we're doing a lot of hip openers in this first part. Extend the elbows. Rotate the inner elbow forward. Long through the crown of the head, and focus on your breath. Bring that right knee back up toward your shoulder. Tuck your hands around the outside. Same thing, extend back, downward facing dog. Extend the tailbone up to the sky. Push those heels down toward the floor. Don't worry if they don't touch. Most people, they don't. Power through all 5 of your fingers. Notice if your weight is distributed evenly across your palms. Now the left leg comes up to the sky. Bring it forward, knee to nose. Step up into a lunge. Get that leg at 90 degrees. My legs are filled. Hands are on the ground. Plant your right hand. Left hand rotates up toward the sky. Again, notice if one side feels way more limber than the other. Strong and powerful through the right quadricep. Look up at the sky. There's a lot of wobbling happening off to my left here. Take one more breath in. I'm so glad you're having a good time though. That's great. That's all that really matters. Bring the left hand down, place it on the inside of your left foot, and then open the opposite way. This is tricky. I feel really stiff this way. I should be able to go way higher, but I cannot. Deep breath in and out. Put that right hand down. Both hands on the inside. Drop the left hip open if you can. Oops, I'm squishing my thingy. Very good. I want you to extend that left leg. And you're, woo! You're going to look like you're on train tracks. You're going to turn your right foot to a little bit more than 45 degrees. So your heel should be back a bit more than your toes, if you can. Now bend the left leg forward. Try and keep your knee in line with your toes until you come into a lunge position. Everyone is different. I don't care where you are, as long as you're stable. Now take your arms and extend them, open your chest, left arm forward, right arm back. Pull the belly button in toward the spine, power through both legs, hold and deep breath in and out. Relax through your upper shoulders. Look over the left index finger or middle finger. Now take your hands back, right, touching somewhere on your thigh or leg, it doesn't matter where, an extended angle, reaching back. Look toward the sky if you can. I actually think I said that wrong. I think this is called a reverse warrior. I don't freaking know. Who cares? Bring that left arm forward. Rest your left arm on your front knee and extend your right arm over. Try to look open the chest if you can. And then circle the arms down around the foot. Extend the left leg back. Back to that downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and out. Try and find a restful little break here. So our last pose, we had our left leg forward, so you're going to extend the right leg up, bring it forward into that lunge position. Come up, rotate the left heel down, a little bit more than a 90-degree angle if you can. Heel slightly further back. My hair is sticking to me. Bend that right knee forward, sink into it. Belly button is pulled in, shoulders are down and relaxed. Good. Now extend your right arm forward, your left arm back. Open your chest and look over your middle finger on the right hand. Try and relax your shoulders away from your ears. Power through your inner thighs. Put your left hand down on your thigh wherever it lands. Extend your right arm back. Opening up through the side body on the right. Don't collapse on the left, strong and powerful. Bring your right arm down to your thigh. Rest it on your thigh. Now, as a modification, if you're pretty limber, you can bring your hand down here onto the inner foot. I'm going to demonstrate here. Extend the left arm over. Extend that left side of the body. Strong and powerful, don't collapse. Deep breaths in and out. Windmill your arms forward and around your feet. Bring your right foot back. Downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here at your own pace. Excuse me. That will sound fabulous on the mic. The sniffing. Come up into plank. And slowly lower yourself down. Elbows hugging the side body. Very slow push-up. If you can, hover, 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 hover. Then collapse. Extend your toes. Come up into a little baby cobra. Now in this one, if you're doing it properly, you should be able to pick up your hands. We'll go up into full cobra in a second. Tight through the, contract through the thighs, put the hands down, start to extend up to what feels good to you. You can extend the elbows and roll them forward if you can. If you cannot, it is totally fine. A modification, if you slide your hands forward, you will not have to extend as high, but you can still straighten the elbows. So do what is right for you. Now, think about lifting your throat up, and you should feel this stretch all the way down your abdomen to your pubic bone. I've had an abdominal surgery very recently. I feel this a lot. They cut me open and took out an organ. It's still a little sore. Good, come back all the way down, and then shift back to child's pose. Knees are slightly apart, big toes together, butt to heels, and rest. I hope it's okay. I haven't been saying all the yoga poses. I don't know if you care, as long as you can follow along. This one is called threading the needle. So you're going to come up a bit, take your right arm, stick it under your left arm, and see if you can get your right shoulder to lie on the ground. Extend that left arm and try and rest the right side of your face on the ground. If you do not feel enough of a stretch, take your left arm behind your back and open your shoulders, or just rest it in the position it was in before. I actually really like this one. I think this feels really good. Deep breaths in and out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Come back into your child pose. Lace your left arm through to the other side. Try and get your shoulder down on the ground. The left side of your face on the ground. Right arm extended and powerful. If that's not enough, bring your right arm behind your back and try and open your shoulders. Okay, take a little break. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go into some rotation movements combined with some core movements. Oh my gosh, I can tell my hair is wild. It's wild, isn't it? That's okay. So come into a long sit for me. And this is kind of, it's in a strengthening exercise, but it's also a little test for you. Kind of get an idea of what your core strength is like. Gosh, I'm so dirty. It's everywhere. Okay. So what you're going to do is flex your feet and sit up like you're in an L. And then tuck your tail underneath you and see if one vertebra at a time you can, pulling my mat, you can glide down without plopping. Tuck your chin to your chest, not very cute. You're going to get a little double chin. And then make your head come down last. So that's the eccentric part of the movement. Concentric, tuck your chin, roll up, reach toward your toes, and see if you can come in the opposite direction and up. That was pretty good, you guys. That was good. We're going to do that, and we're going to make it really, really slow. So I'm looking for you to control this. If you need to, you can bend your knees. You can also use your hands for a little support if you feel like you can't control it. But I've got at least a couple participants that can totally do this. So tuck your tail, tuck your chin, very slow. This whole thing, see if you can make this last 20 seconds. You should at some point start to shake. Here comes mine. It's not very cute in this video. I have a wicked double chin. And then bring your arms back. Stretch up. Full lengthening. Lengthen through your fingertips to your toes. Deep breath in and out. Excuse me, that was gross again. In and out. Now, same thing. Hands come up. Tuck the chin. See if you can take 20 seconds or so. Oh, gosh. That is hard. Pull that belly button in toward your spine. Oh, and then it gets really easy. I don't think that was 20 seconds. I think I cheated. I think we all cheated, didn't we? And arms up, long L sit. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a little demonstration with you. This is for like hamstring flexibility. So with each round of this, you're going to do an inhale up, arms up, and an exhale and reach for your toes. So I want you to notice with each round, we're going to do it 3, maybe 4 times, if you get a little bit further toward your toes. So take a deep breath in, arms up, and as you exhale, lean forward and land where you may. So just take like a mental note of where that is, like where your palms hit your legs or your feet or your toes. And then if you can, try to extend through your head. Long, long spine. Take a deep breath in and out in this position. Exhale. And we're going to repeat that. Come back up. Take a deep breath in. Really deep. And then exhale. Oh, I definitely went like probably almost an inch further. Now lengthen through the crown of the head. Retract your shoulder blades down your rib cage. Lengthen through your spine. Deep breath in and out. Okay, round 3. Inhale up. Exhale, lean forward. Ooh, I'm all the way to my wrist now. Ooh, we got a limber one over here on the right. Yeah, I know everybody's like, ah! That's good. Don't worry though, it's not a competition. Do whatever you've got. And let's do a 4th and final round of that. Inhale up. And exhale. Now, lengthen through the crown of the head. Shoulder blades are pulled down. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take your right hand, now that you've limbered up your back side, and put it on your left foot. Take your left hand and reach it behind you and look over your left shoulder. You can extend the arm back up in the air or on the ground, whatever feels comfortable for you. And bring the head and eyes along for the ride. Deep breath in and out. Come back to center. Left hand onto right foot. Right hand back. Rotate your body. Again, notice your symmetry of movement. Notice if there is one side that is distinctly more restricted. And if so, take an extra breath or an extra moment on that side. Come back to center. I'm going to go back to a core exercise, and then we're going to do another rotation. So there's a couple different ways to do this. I'm going to show you a few different modifications. This is a type of V-sit. So you're going to sit up and start to lean back until you feel your abdomen engage. Sometimes the feeling is a little a little vibration. This is kind of beginner. Hands can help. This is intermediate. This is a more advanced pose. Boop, in this position. So you decide what works for you. Hold it and breathe. So if you get tired and you're like, I want to keep going, but I don't think I can, you can always put your hands here for a little support. You can bend your knees a little bit. You can put 1 foot down. You can put 2 feet down. Put your feet down on the mat. Grab the back of your thighs. Bring your chest forward and extend. We're going to do that one more time. And my buddy over there behind the camera is going to give us a little countdown. Let's see if we can do it for a full 30 seconds in the most challenging position you can tolerate. Ready? Why are people laughing? Okay, extend and go. So I want you to bring your mind somewhere else. Focus on your breath. Deep breaths in and out. When it starts to feel too hard, push that edge. We have less than 10 seconds. Oh, we're done? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grab the back of your knees. Pull your chest forward. Chest out, long through the spine. Excellent. Okay. Now we're going to do some more rotation. Legs out straight. Give them a little wiggle. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Okay. I'm so dirty. Take your right foot over your left. somewhere around your knee or higher. We're going to go through a series of movements. Pick what works for you. So the first, kind of level 1, is sort of hug your knee and extend your chest. This is level 1. Level 2, left arm around the knee, right arm back, rotate and extend through the chest. Level 3, left arm on the outside of the leg, right arm down and extend. Try and include the head with the rotation. Power through your left foot, so strength and contraction through your left foot, and try and extend your spine up toward the sky. Notice where you feel this. Do you feel it in your neck? Do you feel it in your mid-back? Do you feel it in your low back, your hips, your hamstrings? Where do you personally feel it? Come back to center, extend the right leg. Left leg comes up into the same position again. Level 1, again, bring the chest up. Level 2, hug the leg and rotate. Level 3, right arm on the outside of the left thigh and rotate. There's more than this. I can't demonstrate it. Now, power through the right foot. Extend through the spine to the sky. And notice if you feel this in the same place as you did on the other side, or do you feel it somewhere else? Increasing that overall body awareness. What is your body telling you? We are constantly told that we're too dumb to recognize these things, but you're not. Come back to center. Bring yourself into what you would consider a comfortable seat. It's different for everyone. Some people, my husband does not like this position, so he would find something else. So here's one. Here's another. This could be your position. Some people like to do it with their legs out straight. So whatever works for you. So we're going to spend a little time right now on that symmetry of movement concept without anything that's particularly stressful. I want you to feel something. Take your hands and lace them together just like you would any time. Now look down and notice which finger is on top. Mine is my left index finger. Now switch and put your right index finger on top. Does that feel funny? It should. I want you to become conscious of how you use your body. Do you do things the same way all the time simply because that's how you've always done it? And therefore you put more stress on one side or one motion of your body. There's nothing wrong with this for me. I have to think about doing it. Now the same thing. Now look at your legs. Which leg is in front? Mine, my left leg is in front. Now switch them. Put your other leg in front. Feels a little funny, doesn't it? It's not painful. It's not horrible. It just feels funny, right? So again, make a conscious effort to notice sort of the symmetry of your day. In modern society, we sit a lot. We sit in chairs, we sit in cars, we sit in tables, we sit on couches. We sit a lot. The human body is not designed to be a seated animal. So I want you to be conscious of if you are in a position for a long time, can you get in the opposite position? So if you sit a lot, you need to extend. If you cross your right leg over your left when you sit all the time, cross your left leg over your right. If you do everything with your right hand, as long as it's not dangerous like using a knife, can you do some more with your left hand? If you're cleaning a counter, there's no reason you can't use your left hand. This uses a different side of your brain. There's some evidence that it may help with things like dementia later in life, and nobody wants dementia, right? So now what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you do a couple things with your eyes closed so you can feel what is going on with your body. And it's going to be very, very simple movements. And I just want you to notice what doesn't move as well or what lacks some coordination. So your eyes are closed and you're just tuning into what you feel. I want you to take your right arm and extend it as far back as you physically can. If you don't know what I'm talking about, do open your eyes for a second and see what you feel. So I'll give you an example. I feel this on the left side of my lower mid-back when I do that. Now I'm going to take it down. I'm going to extend my left arm as far as I physically can. That one feels a little more limber and I feel absolutely nothing in my back. Just take note of it. Now bring your arm down. Take your right arm like you're going to scratch your left shoulder blade and pull it back with your other hand and notice where you feel that. Take that arm down take your left arm, reach for your right shoulder blade, take your right hand and give it a little push. Do you feel that the same? Probably not. Now we're going to go up your back. This is going to be really obvious. Take both hands at the same time, like you're going to scratch as high up your back as you can. Which one goes higher? Everyone has one. Mine's my left. And not only can I go higher with my left, I feel a stronger stretch on the back of my right shoulder than I do on my left, even though it's lower down. Notice that. Take your hands, rest them down. Now we're going to do something as simple as your neck. You're going to bring your neck and look over your left shoulder as far as you can. Notice how far you can go, and notice where you feel it. Do that exact same thing. Look over your right shoulder. Oh my. That feels really different to me. Come back to center. Now to do this with what's called side bending, it's like you're bringing your left ear to your left shoulder. I actually have really bad motion in this direction. This is something I work on. And then take your right ear to your right shoulder. Resist the temptation to shrug your shoulders or wear them like earrings. Try and let your shoulders be relaxed. And now we're going to take those two motions and combine them. So you're going to come to center and you're going to bring your eyes to your left armpit. Look at your left armpit. Notice where you feel that. Now we're going to do a motion that you've probably never even thought about. Stretches the scalenes of the neck. From this position, rotate and look up. Ooh. A lot of people really struggle with this. So I'm going to repeat that again because this is a motion that people struggle with. Look at your left armpit. Keep your head there and just rotate your head up. You should feel this in your right scalenes, which is the side of the neck. Oof. Come back to center. Look at your right armpit. Notice that combined motion. And then keep your chin in that, your head in that direction. And then rotate and look up. I am way more flexible to the left than I am to the right. It's hard motion. People are struggling with this one. This one's a hard one. This is a stretch I sometimes give my patients and they struggle with this one. I know. It almost feels like your neck might crack, catch. Come back to center. Give a little shake. Whew. So now we're going to do this through the lower body a little bit. And then we're going to call it a day. That's going to be the end of class. So when we did the pigeon pose, raise your hand if your right hip was your tighter hip. Oh, is everybody going to be their left hip? Okay, I've got one. Oh, okay, people can't remember. Let's test it, okay? So let's try that pose again. We're going to come into this pose here. Ooh, and notice after we've done all this work, how much better this feels. Oh, we got a little dog who's going to join us for some yoga. Okay, so now you're feeling that right hip. You're going to roll side to side. What do you feel? Where's your restriction? And then we're just going to up and switch. So for me, my left one is still tighter, but it feels better than when I started. Oh, it's so much tighter than my right. I mean, mine's really obvious. And roll back and forth. So who's a right hipper? Right? Okay, who's a left hipper? Okay. Okay, you're a both hipper. Come back to center. Now let's look at the spinal rotation. So this wasn't something you were paying attention to before, but I'm just trying to sort of deepen your awareness of your body. So we've done this where you cross over, right? And then you took your arm and you rotated. So try one to the right. And then try one to the left. And sometimes it's really subtle and you can't really tell. That's good. If you can't tell, that means they're pretty close to the same. But sometimes it's really, really obvious. Okay, the last thing I want to do is we're going to go into a restful pose. So meditation is so good for you. And I'm really bad at it. And the more I've decided, the worse you are at meditation, the more you need to do it. Because the whole reason you're not good at it is because you're not good at clearing your mind and calming your mind. And anyone who knows me, that is epically true for me. Turning my mind off is very difficult. So you're going to go back to whatever is comfortable for you, a comfortable seat. And I challenge you to switch your legs, if you do this one, to the awkward pose, to the not so comfy pose. And this is one. You can also go to Shavasana, which is that corpse pose where you totally lay down. I do whatever feels good for you. I'm going to sit in my awkward pose because I want to spend a little extra time there. But everybody do what feels good to them. Put your hands wherever they're comfortable. They can be palms down, like they're resting on the earth or on your own knees. That's kind of like bringing the energy into your own body. If you turn your palms up, that's a little bit more of a generous position, if you will. I know it sounds a little sandals and candles, but a little bit more giving. So do what feels right to you today. And whichever position you're in, I want you, if you're lying down, to take a breath and let every piece of your body relax onto the earth. And notice which parts of your body require the most relaxation. Is it between your eyebrows? Is it around your jaw? Is it your shoulders? Is it your buttocks? Is it your fingers? Take another breath in, one more relaxed pose, and then for those of us who are sitting, you're going to sit up tall but not rigid, which is a tricky thing to do. You want to feel strong but not stiff. And now I'm going to be quiet, and for about a minute, I just want you to focus on your breathing and the sensation of the stuff that's around you. What you hear, smell, taste maybe, okay? Take one more breath in and out. Now start to wiggle your fingers and toes. For those of you who are lying down, bend your knees to 90 degrees. And then roll yourself onto your right side. For those of us who are sitting, start to move your legs back and forth. Maybe bring your legs back into your more natural cross-leg position. And then open your eyes. And so I just want you to take a moment to reflect on what that felt like. It took every ounce of my human strength not to move my hair off my face. Like, it was so distracting for me, so I kept thinking, don't pay attention to your hair, don't pay attention to your hair. It's so difficult for me. And then I could hear the baby, and then I could hear the car honking, and I'm like, what is wrong? Can I do this? So I don't know if you all struggle in the way that I do to meditate, but if you're good at it, keep doing it. It's really, really good for you. All right, any questions? Thank you all for coming. Lane, you did so good.